Did you know Disney has a weird tie to Jeffrey Epstein's island? Disney Cruises. One of the stops is Jeffrey Epstein's island. No.
This was hidden for a reason. Most of you guys may know what TikTok is, and it may just seem like a platform that people post videos on. But what if I told you there's a much darker side to it? And nobody really dares to look into it, but that's what I'm going to be doing today. And you're going to come along with me. So make sure you guys watch to the end of the video, because what we're going to uncover today will change your reality. And don't watch alone, because this is going to get terrifying. What's even scarier than the TikToks we're about to watch today is the fact that 75% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more scary videos. Thank you.
Did you know some celebrities might not be who they seem? When a star becomes too powerful or steps out of line, the elites replace them with a clone, a perfect copy controlled from the shadows. Fans have noticed strange behavior, stars forgetting their own songs, glitching on camera, or returning from scandals looking completely different. Whispers say the cloning happens in secret underground labs, hidden from the public, run by the same higher-ups who control politics, media, and culture. So next time your favorite celebrity slips up, ask yourself, are you really watching them or just their replacement?
Parents, you have got to listen to this. Cheerios have more Roundup weed killer in them than any other food on the planet. This, according to a group of scientists called the Environmental Working Group. Watch this video to the end. It gets even worse. This is going to blow you away, but it may actually help save your kids. So there's actually hundreds of foods that contain Roundup weed killer in them. The scientific name for it is glyphosate. It's a huge epidemic. It's in so many foods. It's in Oreos, it's in Cheez-Its, it's in goldfish crackers, it's in almost all the bread that you're eating that you buy in the store. It's in all oat products, including Quaker oatmeal. Read the caption below. I'm going to give you a detailed description down there of what to watch out for. And make sure that before you get done watching this video, you go up and check out the link in my bio, because the GLP-1 rescue plan is the most amazing thing that you will ever find in your life that will completely transform you and your family's health.
Wow, this sounds absolutely delicious. Hey Sean, what do you want for breakfast? Oh, could I have some honey nut weed killer? I don't think the food we're consuming is supposed to be killing us. That kind of defeats the whole purpose of eating.
Dude, you may actually be owed money right now, because Google just got slammed with a $425 million fine for tracking you even if you told them to stop tracking you. So this is the deal. A federal jury just ruled that Google has to pay nearly $500 million for invading people's privacy. This was not just a handful of accounts, by the way. This case covered almost 100 million different users over 174 million different devices. This is all coming down to that setting called web and app activity, which you probably know as the toggle that's supposed to stop Google from tracking you online. Millions of people have switched this setting off thinking that they were safe, but according to the jury, Google kept collecting your data anyways for 8 years. Dude, this is not just a small claim. The lawsuit originally pushed for $31 billion in damages. The jury obviously decided to not go that high, but they still smacked Google right in the face with $425 million. For Google's entire defense, they were claiming that the info was not personal, it was secure, and that their privacy tools gave users control. But obviously the jury is not buying it. Now Google is obviously trying to appeal it, which means that this case could drag on for years before anybody ever gets a payment. If Google can just completely ignore the off switch and still track you anyways just because they want to, what is the point of even having it in the first place?
Morbid Facts, Part 739. In 2012, 18-year-old Gabby Scanlon was celebrating her birthday at Oscar's Wine Bar in Lancaster, England, when staff served her a cocktail topped with liquid nitrogen. Moments after downing the smoking drink, she felt a violent pain in her abdomen. Doctors later said it was as if her stomach had exploded from the freezing chemical. She was rushed into emergency surgery, where doctors had to remove her entire stomach and reroute her digestive tract just to save her life. 3 years later, in 2015, the bar was fined £100,000 for failing to recognize the danger of serving cocktails still bubbling with liquid nitrogen. Kansas City pharmacist Robert Ray Courtney illegally diluted thousands of medications, including chemotherapy, over nearly a decade, claiming extra profit. Estimates put the number of affected patients at about 4,200, with some treatments watered down to as low as 17% of the prescribed dose. Convicted in 2002 and sentenced to 30 years, he was released to home confinement in 2024 under the First Step Act, sparking outrage from victims who think his actions contributed to serious harm and deaths.
You could always just come out with a new drink and market it properly. You don't have to sell drinks with liquid nitrogen to try to get customers. A lot of people probably don't understand the risks of this. And I get it makes it look cooler, but at the end of the day, it's like, oh yeah, let's go drink some liquid nitrogen. That sounds great. No, bro, just like drink some water at that point.
Bro, China really be living in the future sometimes. They just set a world record after 16,000 drones took to the sky in what is now the largest synchronized drone display ever recorded. But the craziest part about this is that the previous world record, which they also had, was only 5,164, which was set in 2021. And now they tripled that in just a matter of years. Each drone followed a specific program flight path to create visuals of towers, blossoms, and a glowing sky tree, which then had fireworks launched out of its branches. What the hell are they gonna do in 2030?
There's a chance that Kanye was cloned. And the Kanye we see now is a clone, or he's in that Get Out. So
Maybe.
check this out, right? Kanye tweeted, "Everybody knows Get Out was written about me." Remember he said that?
Yeah.
Now, the theory goes that after his mental breakdown during the Pablo tour,
Yeah.
he was admitted to the hospital.
That's
right?
when he got bipolar.
That's when he got, they diagnosed him bipolar, and then Kanye even said in an interview, like they prescribed him so much, and it just didn't sit right with his mental, right? Now, what they're saying is, what if Kanye, they tried to like get out him in a sense where his consciousness is still there, but puts another Kanye out, so he becomes this different person, but the one that's still in there is fighting back, and then that's why he's so rampant and unstable.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, there's no way. I feel like a person with bipolar can't get cloned or can't think, because you will always have that second person in you, right?
Yeah, he still has that second. Because
Yeah.
what if it's not? Like, obviously, this is just a theory, but what if it's not bipolar and it's actually like a Get Out thing where he does have, it's like Yugi and Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Yami Yugi and Yugi, right? The Pharaoh.
There's a theory that Pilates is demonic. Pilates was created in the 1920s by Joseph Pilates. He was a sickly man who healed his body through exercise. He taught his first method in New York City in 1926. On the surface, it seemed innocent, but there's actually a little more that you might not know. 4 years after starting Pilates, Joseph actually joined the Freemasons in 1930. The Freemasons are a secret brotherhood that's been whispered about for centuries. It's said to quietly pull the strings of everyone powerful behind the scenes. While his exercise has nothing to do with the Freemasons specifically, his membership connects him to a society that some Christians view as spiritually concerning. It's not Pilates itself, but the history raises a lot of questions. Joseph had studied yoga, Zen Buddhism, and other Eastern disciplines. This shaped his method's focus on mindfulness, breathing, and mind and body connection. So the movements themselves are not inherently evil. That's not what I'm saying. But the philosophies behind them are what Christians are very concerned about. They consider your mind and your body to be connected. And so when you're practicing these movements that have been influenced by things outside of your faith, by like philosophies and ideas and ways of life that you aren't familiar with, they believe that this can have an influence on you, like because it came from like other sorts of spiritual origins. So let me know if you think Pilates is demonic, and follow for more.
A shocking medical scandal is unfolding in Austria, where a neurosurgeon is facing criminal charges for allegedly letting her 12-year-old daughter drill a hole into a patient's skull during emergency brain surgery. The unconscious patient had suffered traumatic head injuries and needed a burr hole to relieve pressure, yet prosecutors say the surgeon handed the drill to her daughter and let her perform the procedure herself, despite the child having zero medical training. The girl never should have been inside the operating room in the first place, as strict hospital protocol forbids minors or unauthorized personnel from being present during sterile surgeries, let alone touching the equipment, let alone drilling into patients' skulls. The patient was never informed a child would be involved, and only discovered the truth months later after an anonymous tip led to an investigation. The hospital immediately fired the surgeons involved, and the lead doctor is now on trial for causing bodily harm and abusing her position. Although the patient survived, he reportedly still suffers long-term effects, and the court called the doctor's decision a catastrophic breach of trust and professionalism.
Okay, I can understand a subtle situation like, oh yeah, put the band-aid on, not, oh yeah, take this drill and put a hole in their skull. I feel like somebody that's trained their entire life for this, you know way better than to let your daughter drill into somebody's head. And I'm also pretty sure if you ask them, hey, do you want my little daughter to drill this hole in your head? They would be like, no.
Did you know that a woman once bought a lie detector to interrogate her husband every single day? She was known as the most jealous woman in the world. In 2014, in Leicester, United Kingdom, a woman named Debbie Woods married a man named Steve Woods. Everything seemed normal at first, but what Steve didn't know was that Debbie had been cheated on by all her previous partners, which had turned her into a deeply distrustful woman. As time went by, Debbie began to develop an irrational fear of her husband's infidelity, a condition known as Othello syndrome. Over the months, Debbie's obsession grew to the point where she would check her husband's phone, emails, and even his bank account several times a day. But things took a truly extreme turn when she started making her husband take a lie detector test every time he came home, even if he had just stepped out for a few minutes to take out the trash. She also forbade Steve from watching TV shows or reading magazines that featured attractive women. Her entire day revolved around her fear of being betrayed. If they went out to eat, when they returned home, she would ask whether he had looked at other women, and she'd use the lie detector to check his answer. As time went on, the situation began to take a toll on Steve. He became so nervous during the tests that the results often came out wrong, which only made things worse. Years later, with the help of specialists, Debbie was finally diagnosed with Othello syndrome and began receiving treatment. You might think their relationship improved after that, but unfortunately, this story never had a happy ending, as Steve eventually left her for another woman, and her biggest fear became true.
For God's sake, whatever you do, do not eat a cucumber. Please, put the cucumber down. There isn't a salad or a person safe right now that contains a cucumber. And while this may seem like I'm just hating on them, they are spreading like 5 different strains of Salmonella, and the FDA is saying it is killing people, okay? I don't know what is going on with our food. I don't know why we have all these recalls. Like there was just a recall on cake. But it is clear that the cucumbers are causing a very, very bad Salmonella outbreak that is now hospitalizing and killing people. These cucumbers have 5 different strains, and they don't know how it got there. And for God's sake, they can't even tell us how. Just know, don't eat a cucumber, okay? Something tells me y'all hard-headed, so I'm gonna read y'all an article. It said that 3 weeks ago, a Florida company recalled cucumbers shipped to 14 states after some tested positive for Salmonella. Cucumbers remain the main culprit for rising number of infections. The U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention and the Food and Drug Administration continue to investigate 2 Salmonella outbreaks likely connected to cucumbers, as the total of those sickened has grown to more than 380 people in 28 states. Here is the map, okay? Look at this map. The dark blue is going to tell you the amount of people. So 11 and 19 people have been contaminated in the dark blue, and 6 to 10 in the light blue, and in the white 1 to 2. As the true number of sick people in the outbreak is likely much higher than the number reported, and the outbreak may not be limited to the states with the known illness. This is because many people recover without medical care and are not tested for Salmonella, but the other ones who were at the hospital didn't. Oh, since we're back in the Wild Wild West and we're playing 1,000 Ways to Die, right now you might want to not eat a cucumber. Save your tummy and your medical insurance. Okay, bye.
If you see this camera in your town, it's already over. Across the UK and the US have started rolling out these AI facial recognition cameras, and yeah, it's exactly what it sounds. These things are disguised as normal CCTV cameras, but they scan every single face that goes past them. What this then does is pick up the person who's walked past it, and then automatically using AI scan it against a criminal database to see if you're wanted or you've done anything wrong. There is going to be someone watching and then proceeding further depending on who you are. Now, I'm not really sure how far this goes, like if I didn't pay a speeding ticket, are the police then going to come and jump on me? Or is it just for like actual criminals? Because I guess that's kind of smart. It is extremely clever though. They are scanning the photos of your face against a criminal database, your social media profiles, like the whole of the internet. It's insane. Some experts have warned that the actual cameras store your data, tracking everything such as where you go to, who you're then meeting, how long you're there for. Also, unfortunately, these cameras aren't government owned. They're buying them from third-party data companies. So instead of the old question, are you being watched? It's now, how often are you being watched?
This woman is able to capture something strange in this video. She goes to a computer center every day, where every day she sees this man watching these videos. Could this be a mental problem or a time traveler? Let me know in the comments.
Morbid Facts, Part 800. On November 10th, 1975, the SS Edmund Fitzgerald, one of the largest freighters to ever sail the Great Lakes, vanished without a single distress call. She was hauling 26,000 tons of iron ore across Lake Superior, a route sailors today still call the graveyard of the Great Lakes. As a brutal storm ripped across the lake, wind gusts reached reached hurricane force and waves rose over 30 feet. Nearby ships radioed that the Fitzgerald was taking whitewater over the deck, and her radar was down, vents smashed, and one of her lifeboats already torn apart by the waves. At 7:10 p.m., Captain Ernest McSorley made his final transmission, "We are holding our own." Minutes later, the 729-foot ship dropped off radar completely. When search teams managed to locate the wreck 2 days later, the bow was found buried more than 20 feet into the lake bed, showing how quick the ship plummeted through the water. The crew quarters were crushed flat, showing how violently the ship hit the bottom. So fast, the men never even reached their emergency stations. Divers later found crew hard hats still sitting neatly in their storage racks. All 29 crew members were lost, as not a single body was ever recovered. While the exact cause of the sinking still remains a mystery, many experts believe the Fitzgerald was struck by a rare Three Sisters, a set of massive rogue waves that can swallow a vessel in seconds, snapping the large ship in two and sending all 29 men to their graves 530 feet below the surface. In 1995, divers retrieved the ship's bell, the only piece ever brought to the surface, and replaced it with a memorial bell engraved with all 29 names. Every November 10th, it's rung 29 times, one toll for each life lost.
Grab my foot, bro. Dude, what do you mean? What's under here? Dude! Get out! Oh my god, my computer's...
Dad! Daddy! Oh my god. Ah!
Don't be scared. I just want to play a game with you.
Babe, have you seen my watch? Ah! Babe! Babe! Something's under the bed, babe! I swear something's under the bed! Oh my god, babe! Ah! Ah! Babe! Babe! Something just touched my foot! Something just touched my foot! Under the bed! Baby, I swear!
Calm down. Nothing.
Oh my god!
Where?
This is like scary but funny at the same time. Could you imagine how traumatizing this would be if you walk by your bed and someone grabs your foot? I would just put my mattress on the floor at that point.
The family that saw the real life aliens are now in complete lockdown in their homes. So this is part 2, and if you haven't seen the other video, just go on my page and look. The family is being so serious about what they saw in their backyards that they're taking it full control in complete lockdown. So there was a UFO crash spotted in Las Vegas at around 11:20 p.m. And less than 40 minutes after that, this family calls the police because of what they see in their backyard. This is not the actual picture, but they claim to see multiple aliens just standing there in their backyard at nighttime, just staring at them. The guy claims that one of them was staring right at them, another one was behind the alien, and they had a weird light like in their leg, like under their skin. He said on the call that he's in his backyard. He swears this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified. Based off of reading this report of what this guy was saying on the phone and the drawings they gave, I'm kind of believing this one. One of the officers on this call said, "I have butterflies, bro. Saw a shooting star, and now these people say there's aliens in their backyard." This is after the UFO sighting. I'll be watching for updates on this whole story, so make sure you hit the plus and come back to me.
Did you know Disney has a weird ass tie to Jeffrey Island?
How?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Who's that again?
She got arrested and she's on trial for Jeffrey Island because Jeffrey already died, right?
Yeah.
She's the last one that's kind of part of the running of the island.
Yeah.
People looked into it and they found out she used to work for Disney. And not only did she work for Disney, she was a child talent scout for Disney, fam.
Oh, okay. I already know where this is going.
Talent scout for Disney.
Yeah.
And she was very involved. Now, people did even more digging. Around the same time when she was working there, the Disney cruises, one of the stops was at St. Little James Island for snorkeling.
Oh no!
And St. Little James Island
Is right beside
is Jeffrey Island.
No,
Yeah.
fam.
Think about it like this.
Yeah.
It's snorkeling, right?
Uh-huh.
People always get lost at sea.
Trump plans to give every American a check worth an insane amount of money, but the Supreme Court might block him due to this weird reason. Trump claims on Truth Social that his tariff plan has already been a tremendous success, keeping the United States as the richest, most respected country in the world, all the while holding inflation down. He then went on to say that he will use the revenue from these tariffs to not only pay down the national debt, but also distribute individual dividends directly back to Americans. And the exact numbers he quoted are mind-boggling because the tariff plan has already earned the US more than $200 billion since its rollout a few months ago, and is projected to raise over $1 trillion before the end of his term, which will allow the Trump administration to give each American at least $2,000. But the Supreme Court is currently on the verge of issuing a ruling on whether Trump overstepped his presidential authority when he created these tariffs, and if they rule against him, then he will likely be required to refund all money earned and remove all current tariffs.
Einstein had died, and they had his brain thin sectioned because they wanted to see what made his brain different from everybody else. And it looked pretty much like everybody else's with one exception. He had a whole lot of folds in his brain. So when you stretch those folds out, he had more surface area, he had more neurons. Scientists took neurons and they put them into a petri dish, and they hooked up the neurons to a computer chip. The chip was put into a computer that was loaded with Pong. The neurons began playing the game of Pong, even though there was no human attached to the neurons. And the longer they played, the better they got. They were actually learning. And now the scientists are struggling with the question, how does a neuron not attached to a human in a petri dish know how to play Pong? Where are the instructions?
Processed chips look harmless, but here's what really happens inside your body. The moment you chew, sharp particles rush down the throat into the stomach. Stomach fills with oily, salty chunks, acids struggling to break them down. A thick, greasy layer coats the stomach lining, slowing digestion. Salt floods the blood, arteries tighten instantly. The heart starts pumping harder, blood pressure rising. Kidneys work overtime, filtering out the excess sodium. Oil droplets pile up inside the liver. Early fat storage begins. Intestines glow red from irritation. Swelling begins. Artificial additives spread through the bloodstream, reaching every organ. The brain lights up with dopamine, craving more chips. Kidneys pull water. Skin starts to lose hydration. Gas pockets expand, and the intestines' bloating builds. Heart, liver, and kidneys all glow under strain from constant overload. Processed chips may taste addictive, but inside, they quietly damage your organs.
These are some morbid facts about Charlie Sheen. When he was only 10 years old, Charlie Sheen traveled with his father to the Philippines for the filming of Apocalypse Now. There he witnessed a real water buffalo being decapitated by a machete in a ritual sacrifice, a moment filmed for the movie. Sheen later said the image stayed burned into his memory and was one of the most brutal things he had ever witnessed. At the peak of his fame, Charlie was burning through drugs at such an insane pace that he admitted he had a different reality. At one point, the actor was spending nearly $2,000 a day on cocaine and once admitted to smoking enough crack to fill a swimming pool. His binges spiraled into weeks-long parties filled with drugs and sex, where he bragged about sleeping with both men and women while high. It was during this reckless era that he contracted HIV, a diagnosis he kept secret for years as rumors about his health exploded. When Sheen finally revealed his HIV diagnosis in 2015, the confession was both shocking and life-saving. Doctors gave him credit for prompting a 95% increase in HIV testing kits, likely saving thousands of lives. In 1990, Sheen's engagement to actress Kelly Preston came to a bloody end when she was shot in the arm inside his home. Sheen later claimed a revolver had slipped from his pocket and accidentally discharged when it hit the floor, but the incident was enough for Preston to leave him immediately, prompting rumors that Charlie had actually attempted to kill her. While filming Money Talks, Charlie binged so heavily on cocaine that he suffered a nosebleed that wouldn't stop. The bleeding went on for 18 straight hours, leaving him physically drained and terrified. On the set of Free Money, after days of partying, Sheen was so exhausted and paranoid about passing out that he tried a bizarre method to stay awake. He claims he shoved an ice cube up his rectum to shock his body into alertness. He later recounted the story as one of the lowest points of his addiction. In 1995, Sheen's drug abuse had reached such a catastrophic level that doctors found his blood saturated with cocaine at a concentration so high it should have killed him on the spot. spot. Paramedics were stunned that he survived the overdose, with some calling it a medical miracle. But finally, after years of infamous drug binges, public breakdowns, and reckless behavior that nearly destroyed his career, Charlie claims he's now been sober since 2017, over 8 years without drugs or alcohol. He admits he still gets constant cravings, but says he fights them by remembering the shame and chaos of his tumultuous past.
When you do so many drugs to the point where you become a medical mystery, and the fact that it's a miracle that you're alive, you know you went way too deep.
Purchased at yard sales that ended up being way more valuable than anyone knew. A woman named Claire bought a card table for $25 at a garage sale because she thought it looked nice. 30 years later, she found out that it was one of only 6 tables in the world made by furniture makers John Seymour and Son. She flipped it at an auction for $540,000. In 1987, a British woman purchased a costume ring from a yard sale for $5, only to find out 30 years later that it was actually a genuine 26-carat diamond ring worth $960,000. In 2014, a scrap metal dealer from California bought a golden egg for $14,000 at a yard sale, hoping he could flip it for a quick profit. But after finding out the metal was worth far less than he was hoping for, he decided to take it to an antiques expert instead. It turned out to be an extremely rare Fabergé egg that once belonged to the Emperor of Russia, worth an estimated $33 million. In the year 2000, Rick Norsegian was looking to buy a barber chair at a garage sale, but ended up buying 2 boxes of old photos for $45. 4 years later, he discovered that the boxes contained 65 glass plate negatives from famous photographer Ansel Adams, worth right around $200 million.
This dude walked in on his roommate sawing his other roommate's off.
I heard about this.
It's about this dude named Douglas Taylor. He's living in this house that's pretty much like a sober home. So there's a bunch of people that live in this house. Like there's like a couple guys in there. Randomly on this night, around like 10:30 p.m., one of the guys who lives in the house hears Douglas and his roommate Hans upstairs arguing and like tussling with each other, right? And then he hears Hans scream, "Please no, stop." So he goes upstairs to see what the hell is going on. He sees Douglas Hans off with a
whoa.
And instantly like he just freaks out. Hans just like looks at him, doesn't even say anything, just looks at him and just keeps going back to sawing his off.
Oh my god.
So that's when the downstairs neighbor, his name was Aaron.
Yeah.
He calls the police. Police come and there's body cam footage of all this. That's how I found out about this.
Yeah.
The police come and the EMTs instantly get to work on this dude Hans.
He's not yet?
With like 17 wounds all over his body. When the police come, he's
yeah.
But somehow, bro, like these EMTs like worked into like overdrive and actually got a pulse back from this guy.
What?
Well, look what we have here. Might be brothers, might be cousins, you know, might be made in the same facility. Shh! Shut up! At this point, I have no idea, guys. Because these two look very similar, right? Nicolas Cage, Marilyn Manson. But wait, they used to hang out a lot. They probably still do. Shh! Shut up! Listen, I don't know how they're hanging out, but like I said, guys, maybe they're related, maybe they're cousins, who knows? Oh, you know what's going on here, guys, right? Because these two have a lot in common, right? Not only that, you seen that other picture. They were hanging out with each other. They seem to be best friends. Of course, they're always having a good time together, guys. Like I said, Nicolas Cage, Marilyn Manson, and whoever these two people are, I have no idea. But I know that these two are very close. Very close. They spent a lot of time together. A lot of time together. Now listen, I don't know what to think about these two, but as far as I'm concerned, they're friends and they always hang out. They have a good time. You know, they're both in the same club when they go to the same club, you know what I mean? And of course, entertainment purposes only. These are just pictures of celebrities hanging out, having a good time, that's all. I don't know, guys, let me know what you think. I'm out.
A woman just killed someone while live streaming and driving. Let that sink in. She was live streaming and driving at the same time. And guess what? Her kids were in the backseat of the car. And now that poor man's family has spoken out. The creator goes by Tea Time here on TikTok, and this happened in Zion, Illinois on Monday evening when she was live streaming while driving and not even trying to be safe about it. People in her live said she was talking to everyone in the chat, responding to every single comment, constantly looking at the screen and not paying attention to the road. You then hear a loud thump jump, her kids scream in the back. She says, "I just hit somebody," and shortly after ends the live. That man was identified as 59-year-old Darren Lucas, who was rushed to the hospital but sadly did not make it. And his family spoke out saying, even if she was live streaming, we will continue to pray for what the driver must be going through. They said his wife is trying to move forward without her best friend, her love, and honestly her life. They said he was humorous, a great friend, and the nicest guy that they've ever known. The question everyone's asking is, was it worth it? Was live streaming worth more than the life of this man? The lives of her children, her own life, and could it not have waited until she got home? Authorities are still investigating. So far, no arrests have been made, but rest in peace to Darren. Let me know what you guys think, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
I don't even get what the point of her live streaming was. She literally had a green screen. If she was doing a live of her driving, that would be completely different. And if she was being precautious, okay. But she literally had a green screen on, so you couldn't even tell she was driving. Her driving had nothing to do with the live. She literally just couldn't wait.
This is everything that happened on the news today, but it's going to be simplified in 60 seconds. IKEA's new virtual store in Roblox will now actually pay players $14 an hour just to work in the game. So this is literally just an IKEA store that's inside of Roblox, and you can just apply and get paid to work there, like different shifts. Like you can be a cashier in the game and they pay you real money. Spotify just officially announced that they will now be more expensive than Apple Music, so they're raising their prices again. I think there might be different levels of plans you can pay for, but this is what they are. Giant, venomous, flying spiders with 4-inch legs are heading to New York area. Okay. Basically, if you have not heard about this, this is not just for New York, it's going along the entire east coast of the US, so good luck. These are called Joro spiders, which is a type of orb weaver, and people say that they're apparently not supposed to be able to bite. Starbucks' new summer menu just leaked, and they're apparently releasing new energy drinks. This is what those energy drinks are. Take with it as you please. For anybody that wondered why I haven't been posting for literally like 3 days, it's because I got a new telescope, and I'm wanting to know, do you guys want telescope content? Thank you. I give you these news roundups every day, so make sure you add me and come back to me tomorrow.
This is the difference between grocery store beef and directly from farmers. Grocery store beef has a bright pink color, which is often stabilized by packaging gases to maintain the visual appeal for weeks. Grass-finished, regeneratively raised beef has a darker, deeper red because it contains more myoglobin and is not gas-treated. Factory farming means cows are fed grain for rapid fat gain, and the meat can be wet-aged in plastic, often with carbon monoxide to maintain the color. Farms that instead use grass-finished, regenerative practices have slower growth but far higher nutrient density and stronger maintenance of the land. If you can get this super deep red color from a local farmer, that's a great sign of it being truly grass finished, older, stronger muscle tissue, richer in nutrients, and not artificially oxygenated.
This man was working the night shift when he suddenly saw this. This disturbing video was captured by a food delivery worker who was finishing yet another order when he noticed something that looked straight out of a horror movie. Through the window of an apartment, he sees a strange man dancing alone in the darkest hours of the night. The creature-like movements, the terrifying appearance left thousands of viewers frozen in fear. And the fact that this happened around 3 a.m. makes it even more disturbing, because we all know what kind of things happen at that hour. So, what do you think this really was? Tell me in the comments. I'll be reading every single one. And follow me before something like this appears outside your window.
Employees may soon start leaving Target after a new policy forces them to smile at customers within 10 feet of them. Target just rolled out this new program for all of its employees, mandating that you must smile, wave, and greet shoppers if they come within 10 feet of you. So Target's calling this the 10-4 program, and what that means is that if a customer is within 10 feet of you, you must smile, make eye contact, and greet or wave if they get within 4 feet. As an employee, you're expected to ask the customer how is their day going and if they need help finding anything. And Target's trying to do anything to increase revenue for holidays because right now their sales are basically flat all year. The share price of their stock is down 30%, and they just got done eliminating about 1,800 jobs last month. And Target ends up getting a third of their entire yearly revenue during Q4 for the holiday season. So they're hoping that the employees will smile, wave, and make them more money.
The New Jersey drones. Let's go. Our buddy Daniel, who does a lot of like cinematography stuff for like
3-letter agencies.
Yeah, he's at this like convention thing. There's a company out of New Jersey that showed up to do a demo with us today. They have developed a flying drone car and are the cause of all the UFO hysteria a few months back. The guy who piloted the car/drone told me this, that they don't have to disclose these tests under certain protection that covers technology for companies awarded government contracts, i.e. Lockheed Martin, Northrop. You watch the video, that's exactly what people are seeing in New Jersey.
Yes.
He also sent a picture of,
that makes sense.
It's a giant drone that releases smaller drones.
Gosh, Star Wars
Dude,
is
this
real.
this is iRobot.
They literally, legally, did not have to disclose what they were doing.
Yeah.
Because of government contracts.
Dude, I bet they were freaking out, all the press they were getting.
Are they surveilling people with these drones, or they?
That's such a good question. Because if they don't have to disclose their flight logs, what they're doing as they test, well, what if it's a recon drone?
If you like spicy food, you actually love pain. I'm not even joking, this is nuts, but share this around. So, first of all, spice isn't a taste. Your tongue can't taste it. You only have, sweet, sour, bitter, salty. But your tongue can obviously detect heat and pain. Now, chilies and spice that are in the food that you eat, they don't actually bind to your tongue, they bind to your pain receptors. As I say, spice isn't a taste. Your tongue can't detect it, but it can send it to your brain saying that you are in pain. What this actually means is every time you are eating something spicy, you're not tasting the spice. The spicy feeling on your tongue is then getting sent to your brain pain receptors. So every time you eat something spicy, it's your body basically saying you are in pain.
This woman called a secret society doing a ritual in the middle of a cornfield. Check this
I was
out.
just walking in the cornfields, minding my own business. Typical Friday night in Indiana.
Okay.
Thought I was all by myself.
But she's not.
I was not. I'm talking quietly because I'm a little frightened.
There they are.
This is happening.
That's an effigy of a demon. She's going to get a little closer. Watch
I'm
this.
gonna get closer. They're not even acknowledging the presence. And I don't really have any friends. I kind of wanted to do something fun tonight because it is a Friday, so I'm just gonna see what's going on.
Kind of strange to walk around in the cornfield on a Friday night by yourself. Check this out.
It's so weird. There's so many weird things happening
They're like
out
in a
here all the
trance.
time. You really never know. What?
That's a demon effigy.
What? Here, I'll show you guys a better angle. Pretty night.
Stay weird, y'all. Some
Well,
strange things
I guess
going
I'm
on.
just gonna hang out here for a little bit with my new friends and
Stay weird.
I mean, I can understand being bored on a Friday, but why are you in a cornfield with a cult? And why are you saying they're your new friends so you're going to hang out with them? If you see people worshiping something that's obviously like evil and they're just sitting there in the middle of a cornfield, I don't think you should be hanging around there.
I don't know what timeline we on in life, but all I know is this shit is not normal. Do y'all see what's going on in Alaska? And do y'all see what's going on in Phoenix, Arizona? When the last time you heard of Alaska going through something like this? And when is the last time you heard of Phoenix, Arizona, the desert, becoming a motherfucking river? A small little ocean. Matter of fact, I'll wait. If y'all don't understand that the earth is going through drastic changes, I don't know what will make you see. All you gotta do is go outside, take that walk, and just think about 10 years ago. It's fucked up.
What is the dumbest reason you could think of somebody committing a crime? I'm about to one-up your thought right now. This man from Pennsylvania behind me named Benjamin Gowell killed his girlfriend because he didn't like her haircut. And just because he didn't like her haircut, he stabbed her to death. This happened on Sunday, November 3rd at 1 p.m. in East Hempfield, Pennsylvania. Police were called, the EMTs transported 2 people out, and 1 person was pronounced dead at the scene, so there was 3 people involved here. The victim was Carmen Martinez Silva. Her brother was also present there. I'm assuming he tried to fight the suspect, her boyfriend, off. Her brother would get stabbed in the skull, and Carmen would be pronounced dead at the scene. They found Benjamin Gowell's kitchen knife in his car. Apparently Carmen was a little fearful of Gowell, so she went over to her daughter's place. Her daughter gave her a haircut, and that just infuriated him for some reason. She was scared to go back, so she went to her brother's place. That's when she informed him she would like to end the relationship because he was being crazy. He knocked on the brother's door. The brother told him she is not here. He came back a few minutes later with a knife, stabbed him, broke through the house, and then stabbed her multiple times. This is all over a haircut. A haircut's the thing that apparently sent this guy over the edge. Now he has 3 counts of aggravated assault, a homicide count, an attempted homicide count, and a bunch of reckless endangering counts. Obviously, with his girlfriend dying now, he will probably be getting life in prison. That's a first-degree murder right there.
Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your favorite part of the video made you tremble in your boots, and we're going to be on to the next one.